So this workout, I guess I'm going to call this video something like, I don't know, big back or thick back with a heavy side of rear delts. I don't know if I can fit all that in there or not. Doesn't even make sense, does it? Whew, I think I'm going to title this video something to the effect of big back with a heavy dose of side, big back with a heavy side of rear delt, or something like that. I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out. Let's just get through the son of a bitch first. That's the real accomplishment, right? This is like an extra back day. This is not like my primary mass back day, which there's a number of ways you can arrange that. If you are familiar with my videos, my training approaches, then you would already probably have an idea of how I would do it. I may go heavy every other week. Right? So if I went heavy on chest this week, then next week is going to be a lighter chest workout. If I went lighter on back this week, then next week's going to be a heavier back workout. So every other week or every other workout, sometimes. I don't like to do 2 body parts a week necessarily. But I do so many pieces in between and extra shit, so it's really hard for me to try to really explain all of it, you know? But, and I do a lot of oddball stuff too. I mean, comparatively, for what you would expect that I do. I do like farmer's walks and all that kind of stuff outside, you know, out in the field and all that jazz. So I do a lot more of functional type of stuff, you know? Which that's going to come into play with this next video. I want to talk about this power building shit, but not right now. So, you know, all I'm saying is I don't want to go too heavy duty, hardcore back workouts in a row, not heavy, or too heavy chest workouts in a row. I just don't think that's a great idea. If you're feeling your Wheaties and you're recovering and everything's in its place for you to be able to, you know, to support all that, then you could train, you know, twice a week, and every other workout would be a heavier or harder workout, right? And stagger them. Anyhow, you get the idea. You'll figure it out. I don't train, I guess formally, you wouldn't say I train twice a week. I would say I train twice every 8 to 10 days, probably. Okay, so, but I am stepping it up lately because I'm trying not to look like an old man, an old lump of shit. So this workout, I wanted to place a lot more accent on my rear delts, but I don't want to miss the opportunity to incorporate another larger body part if I can, you know, rather than it just being a supporting player. It doesn't make any sense to me because it's a major component, it's a major complex, muscle complex, right? Like in this case, back. All right, if I'm going to do some rear delt work, there's so many exercises I can choose, you know, from which I can choose. So I want to choose exercises personally that are going to be able to get what I call some whore back work in there as well. That I'm going to get, the back is going to get whored a little bit, and it's going to get worked. It's going to get worked. It's not going to just have an easy day, right? The only easy day was yesterday, right? It's not going to have an easy day because I want to primarily concentrate on rear delts. I'm not going to sacrifice opportunity and time in the weight room. So, and effort and sweat equity. So I opened up today with, this is all cable stuff today, by the way, and it's just as how my mood strikes me. Doesn't mean the next workout, you know, next workout will probably be a pretty heavy workout. And then it doesn't mean that I'll jump back to this workout. I may use all free weights, you know, the next one that would take the place of this one. So I'm all over the place. I like to do a lot of different stuff. There's so many things out there you can do. There's so many exercises. There's so much equipment. There's so many movements. You know, explore the room a little bit. So today I opened up with lat pull downs. Now when I do lat pull downs, and I sit down and do them like everybody over these 40 years. Of course, I've sat down a lot on lat machines and done lat pull downs like that. And I've done every configuration. I've seated myself, my ass right up directly in line vertically underneath the pulley, and then arch my back and lean back and pull back real good, get a good arch in my back and lower back and pull back. I'm not a guy, except when I first started out as a noob and didn't really develop the finesse yet or understand it, then maybe I rocked back and laid way back and tried to pull a whole stack down or whatever the fuck, right? But I don't do that now, because by now, I'm strong enough. I'm not as strong as I was at my peak, but I'm still strong enough that I can significantly, move a lot of weight. I can still do higher reps. You'll see me do higher rep sets typically. Don't let that fool you. The weight is still substantial. It's still a moderately heavy weight. It's still, I'll have people train with me sometimes, and they're not going to pull 20 reps or 15 reps with what I'm pulling, typically. No, they might. Typically, they're not going to, unless they're getting herky-jerky with it and their form's all over the place and looks like they're actually having some kind of a fit. I like to concentrate. I like to focus. I like to be able to contract the muscles that I'm targeting, severely. So I've started standing up a lot in recent years. I like to stand up and back off the machine and pulley a little bit and stand up and do lat pull downs. I find that it gives me the most advantageous angle for my biomechanics, for me. It gives me the most advantageous angle from which to target what I'm after. So that's how I do it. Am I telling you every other way is wrong? I'm not one of those guys. Stop doing X. I'm not that guy. If it works for you, you do you. Okay? Some guys are taller, some guys are shorter, some guys are, have shorter arms, longer arms, higher lats, lower lats. Some guys are stronger here, weaker there. Some guys are more focused on this aspect of the development over that aspect, whatever have you. For me, I get the job done best standing up and leaning back like that. And again, I'm not going to over-exaggerate it. You'll see in the video, I'm not going to really lean way back, just, to look like I'm trying to hurt myself just to try to pull more weight. I'm pulling a significant amount of weight. At the same time, I understand, as I'm sure you do, my muscles do not know arithmetic. They don't know arithmetic. They don't know, oh, this is 10 reps. I'm supposed to be finished here. Now I can stop. I'm going to grow from that. I'm supposed to grow from that. Or, oh, that's 12 reps, or, oh, that's 15 reps. So I won't waste a set. I will do whatever reps it takes to get to the place where those last couple reps are the ones that are really doing all the, are really the source of all the actual motivation and stimulation to really gain anything out of it. So, if that's 20 reps, it's 20 reps. If it's 18 reps, it's 18 reps. In other cases, sometimes it might only be 15 or 12. But the weight is significant. Believe that. By going a little bit lighter, and it's not light, like again, it's not light. You would be surprised. If you train with me, you would be surprised to find it's not what most people would deem light at all. But if I go heavier, I don't feel like I get as many working reps. Because when I begin to fail, I don't have, the fiber recruitment isn't there for me to be able to, the increments are different. The incremental recruitment is different. It's different, and I will not get as many as what I consider to be productive reps by the end of that set, as if I just simply lighten up a little bit. Go 10 pounds lighter, go 15 pounds lighter. And now, instead of me getting to a place where I'm getting, 2 or 3 really productive reps, now I'm probably getting a good 5 or 6 productive reps. It's just hurting and burning, and I'm still pulling, and I like it. So I open up with that first. You will also notice I'm pulling it kind of high to the chest, and that's because, again, I'm getting a lot of mid-back in there, believe it or not, also the way that I'm doing it, but I'm also trying to recruit those rear delts. Hence this is my angle of choice, and if I pull a little bit higher, I actually can recruit more rear delt, involve more rear delt, interact with more of those rear delts. All right, and you also see I want to pull and touch my chest. I want to pull it to touch my chest. I don't want to be doing, shorting myself. Because that rear delt likes it better when I pull that far, all the way down to touch my breastbone, that rear delt gets more work than if I didn't do that. So I try to accomplish that every single rep. As much as I'm able, and I am able. After I do that, I move over and I do seated low pulley rows. And when I say low pulley rows, I mean like it is probably one notch lower than you would expect it to be as far as the pulley height. And I could turn knuckles up, palms down. I could exaggerate that more, less supination, and that is going to bring in more rear delt for me. Now, once the weight starts to get significant, it's not as important. Once the weight starts to get pretty significant, I can take more of a neutral grip or closer to a neutral grip. It may not be completely a neutral grip, you'll see in the video. And again, I'm trying to pull all the way back, and I'm choosing to use two flexible handles put together, like you'd use each one for each hand if you're doing cable crossovers. I like to do them together because they're flexible. I'm not locked into a committed angle with my wrists and my hands. I can pull them apart as I'm pulling back just enough that it makes a difference that I can detect. So I do that. And again, reps are higher, yes, but for the reasons I've explained, and it's still significant weight. Then I'll stand up and I'll do basically the same thing, except now the cable, the pulley is lowered even more. And I may incrementally move that pulley adjustment up and down, on that tower, on that slide. I may move it up and down. I may start out higher once I stand up. Depends how fatigued I am. If I'm already fatigued, I'm going to go lower. But if I start out higher, I'll come down each set. Every set, the weight goes up, the pulley comes down lower. Until I'm all the way down, as low as the pulley will go. And that'll be my final set. And I'm going as heavy as I'm going to go. That'll be my heaviest set. And I'm making conscious effort now to involve and recruit more traps. They're going to be in there anyway, but now I'm actually trying to recruit more traps in there because rear delts are pretty spanked by then. They should be. And of course I'm getting some lat involvement in there and some other back stuff, but the primary importance for me is that I'm beating on those rear delts, and like I just said, I'm purposely recruiting more trapezius now. Then I will go over here and finish off with kind of like face pulls, but my variation. And I'll start at higher. I'll work that cable pulley. I'll move that cable pulley lower with each set, and the weight will go up. And I might use, and it's just like when I use a cable anytime for back, I may use a rope to get a lot of flexibility and a lot of variation in my hand positioning, or I may use two handles like that. I may use a V handle. I may use whatever. I may use a straight bar. I may use a short straight bar. I may use a longer straight bar. It depends what I want my grip to be, where I want my grip to be, and particularly doing face pulls. I may use a rope. I like to use a hard, in-place, fast handle, like a short, solid handle, because then I can do them close, I can do them a little bit wider apart, depending on where I want to place the accent. And I will pull to the neck, I may pull the upper chest sometimes, it depends where I want and what I'm feeling. It's all about feel. I need to feel what the muscle's doing. Sets, reps, hard for me to box myself in on that. Like I said, I really train instinctively. It's been 40 years. I should train instinctively by now. And it works. I mean, people could look at my shit and pick it apart and say, oh, that's not good, I disagree with that. You disagree all the fuck you want. I'm 61 years old. When you get to be 59, much less when you get to be in your 60s, when you get to be 61, if you look as good as me, or if you look better, which I fucking doubt it, just the odds. Statistically, the odds are against it, but if you do, then you can give me some pointers. Of course, I may very well be buried in the ground by then. You have to go talk to my tombstone. I will not be listening, but don't feel slighted. I do like really good bourbon. If you want to pour one out for the homie, I like really good bourbon. Don't pour no Thunderbird or no cheap ass shit out there. Get some really good bourbon. If I have my choice, I want Pappy Van Winkle, of course. What fool wouldn't? You know, but there's a lot of other really good bourbons. It's not always the ones that you would think. The typical shit like Bullet, for example, I don't care for that. It's okay, I'll drink it. Knob Creek, I'm not nuts about it, I'll drink it. I'll drink it, you know. Believe it or not, I like the Four Roses Distillery. Same distillery, for God's sake, that makes Pappy Van Winkle. Don't turn your nose up, Four Roses. Same distillery. They also make you know, their everyday whiskey, you know what it is. I can't think of the name of it right now. Oh, shit. Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace Distillery, right? I love dollar for dollar. Really good every day, all day, in and out, you know, bourbon. Anyway, just a thought. So if you feel at the end of that you need to do more rear delt work, like you need to go over and sit down on a, you know, like a fly machine, how everybody uses them for rear delts and pulls them like this and shit, that crazy stupid shit. Problem is nobody out there is building delts that way. All right? Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, and one of these cats, they can build delts that way because their delts are already massive. And they have the ability to contract that delt. They have the ability to control, you know, where that stress is being leveled. They can contract those delts. They can make that work. For them, that's a nice finisher. For you, it is most likely 95% of the time a complete and utter waste of your time. I don't see anybody in and out of the gyms doing it that have big rear delts. I don't do it at all. I don't like it. There's too many other better choices in my opinion. Anyway, that's that. So if you feel you need to do more rear delt work, I would challenge you and say that you did not really put in the sweat equity in what I just showed you. You know, and before you look at it and say, oh, that ain't shit. I got some really good rear delts still at this age, really good. And they used to be better, like all of it. Like everything about me used to be better, but you know, what the hell? You get to be 61, you're not going to be as smart as you once were. You're not going to be as sharp. You're not going to be as strong. You're not going to be as fast. None of this shit. You can still do what you can do because you don't have any other option but to crawl in the box and pull the lid shut. And who's doing that? Not this guy. Anyway, that's it. That's it. You know, it's very simple. It's you don't like it, don't do it. There's so many other things out there. Do you. For God's sake, do you. Out of here. Take care. Have an awesome day.